Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see by the title, we're talking about caffeine, the drug. What's brewing in your cup? But before we get started, I need you to subscribe, hit the like button, and smash the notification bell so you can know when I upload. But I also want to say this at the beginning, that whatever we say here on Eat for Strength is for educational purposes only. Any changes or things that you need to make in your life, you need to consult your healthcare provider. All right? Just know that we're just talking here to educate and to have these conversations. But any changes you make, you talk to your healthcare provider. All right? All right, so let's get started. Caffeine is a drug. All right? It's the world's most popular stimulant in children and adolescents. Caffeine is such a culprit that we really need to be mindful of it. When you get in your, whether you get your caffeine from coffee, tea, soda, eat it in your chocolate or cocoa, or swallow pills, caffeine is affecting your health in dozens of dangerous ways. Many people cannot even start a day without a cup of coffee. Others must have it at a 10 o'clock break. And even some people at night after dinner will say, let's have a cup of coffee that late at night. That is so amazing to me. With 70% of the world's coffee supply consumed in the United States, the average American consumes 227 milligrams of caffeine per day. And I'm going to put all of my references in the description box. 4 out of 5 Americans are drinking coffee on an average today, and about 20% of these use more than 350 milligrams daily, which is sufficient to produce a dependency because it is a very addictive drug. Caffeine and tea contribute to most of the caffeine in our diets. The caffeine content of coffee and tea depends on the method of preparation and the strength of the brew. In a can, it can vary from 30 to 140 milligrams per 5 ounces. And you know, nobody drinks 5 ounces of coffee, not even a 5-ounce soda today. Soft drinks are the third largest contributor of caffeine, containing 30 to 55 milligrams per 12 ounces. And most people drink more than that. When I was a child, orange juice glasses were this big, about 2 to 4 ounces. I mean, really, it's so amazing now how large everything is. Everything's been supersized. Okay, let's talk about the central nervous system. Many people do not depend on a nutritious breakfast to get them going, but they depend on coffee. They have those, what they call them, Keurigs. Every young person has one in their kitchen. They're running to the fast food places or the Starbucks, and they're getting these expensive coffee. They can't even start their day without it. So I think that's interesting. But when the drug effects wears off, it causes irritability, nervousness, headaches, and depression. Yet while it may speed up reaction time and improve automated processing skills like doing arithmetic problems, it worsens performances of more complicated tasks. Caffeine also worsens your fine motor coordination due to the increased hand tremors. It affects the fetus and pregnant women. And here's what the FDA has to say. It says that caffeine has a variety of physiological effects on the body. It says adults who drink 1 to 3 cups of coffee have 1 to 4 sodas daily consume 200 milligrams of caffeine and will experience clear physical effects. But it also suggests that if you're pregnant, to kind of not take the caffeine if you can. I mean, that's what the FDA, it says it's kind of too weak of a statement, you know, like telling people if you can, not to have the caffeine. Due to the effects of the caffeine on the fetus, the FDA advises pregnant women to avoid caffeinated foods and drugs if possible and consume them sparingly. I think that's a little mild, but yeah. And it also affects your PMS and fibrocystic breast disease. It says women who drink 8 to 10 cups of coffee daily have 7 times greater risk of PMS symptoms than those who do not. Okay? And there was a female physician who had fibrocystic breasts, and she was consuming 1,300, you heard me right, 1,300 milligrams of caffeine a day. And when she stopped using coffee, tea, colas, chocolate for a month, the lumps in her breasts were diminished. After 2 months, her fibrocystic disease disappeared. There's a host of things, birth defects, miscarriages, infertility. In one study, 4,000 women who consumed 150 to 300 milligrams of caffeine per day during their pregnancy had more than twice the risk of delivering underweight babies, which was less than 5.5 pounds, than those who consume less caffeine. The risk of delivering low-weight babies is almost 5 times greater for women who consume more than 300 milligrams of caffeine per day. Infants born with low birth weight have a increased risk of dying in early infancy. I mean, that makes me sad to think about that, but these are contributing factors, okay? Also, some of the things that contribute to your health with caffeine, not maybe the cause, but a contributing factor, would be cancer. Caffeine does not appear to cause cancer directly, but increases the growth of tumors, which are caused by other carcinogens. Heavy coffee drinking doubles the risk of bladder cancer, while tea drinking increases rectal colon cancer. I just want to say this. My mother died in April of 2019. May the Most High rest her soul. And growing up, she was raised in the South. She made a pitcher of black tea every day, sweet tea, most delicious. You know what I mean? Now, as a child, we weren't allowed to drink it. We got a glass of water or a glass of milk at dinner. Every now and then you could have a glass of tea. That was special, but it wasn't regular like she drank it daily. Okay, that was her drink of choice. And then we moved around a lot because my daddy was in the military. And when we moved north, I guess the people she became friends with the hunger, that tea wasn't their thing. So she stopped making the tea. Now, I was probably in middle school. We called it junior high at that time. At that time, I was probably in middle school. And she was switching because, like I said, she wasn't making the tea anymore. But now she had switched to Pepsi, a case a week. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, a case of Pepsi back then, you got these little boxes like this. But hers was a big box. 24 sodas, cans of soda. And guess what? You better not try to take one, because she knew. She counted them, so you couldn't have them. So when she would go, she was a housewife, and they would go to different ones' houses in the mornings after we went to school. My mother would take her Pepsi that she was drinking and one to spare when she went while everybody else was drinking coffee. And she drank coffee too sometimes. Her thing was sodas. And finally, it took her years to get off of them, and she struggled. We're going to talk about how to get off of these things, but she struggled. And when she finally got off of them, she ended up getting bladder cancer. Yep, that's right, bladder cancer. It also can contribute to ulcers. It'll affect your sleep, especially your rapid eye movement, that REM sleep. It affects that. I'm telling you, it affects me. I'm telling you, my husband and I we were traveling. My late husband. We were traveling, and we stopped at a well, let me tell you this. Sometimes I drink water and juice sometimes, but every now and then I would have some soda. No, I'm not going to lie to you. And so I would consider soda a strong drink. You know, they got beer, wine, and spirits, and the spirits are called the strong drink. For me, I drink water and juice. The sodas are the strong drinks. I needed a strong drink, you know. So my husband, bless his heart, he got me a can of orange soda. So we're thinking that's cool, right? We get to the hotel that night. This was early in the day. For some reason, I can't sleep. What's going on? I am wide awake. And my husband does everything. Now, I don't normally take baths in hotel bathtubs, but we tried to take the bath. That wouldn't work. He rubbed my feet. That didn't work. And then the spirit must have impressed him to go clean out the car, because he was tired of trying to get me to go to sleep, because he was dead tired. He had driven and he wanted to sleep. But he goes downstairs to clean out the car. He comes back with the trash and the can of soda. He says, you know, this orange soda has caffeine in it. That's your problem. I said, oh my. So all orange sodas are not equal. All right. So it will affect your sleep. It also contributes to heart disease. Caffeine affects the heart and blood vessels by elevating cholesterol and triglyceride levels. At Stanford University, researchers report the middle-aged men who drank 3 or more cups of coffee per day had elevated blood levels of LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol. Remember, I put all my references in the description box. A recent Norwegian study of 7,500 men and 8,500 women found that the more coffee they consumed, the higher was their homocysteine level. Those with elevated homocysteine levels have a greater risk of coronary heart disease. And like we said, caffeine is also very addictive. Like I said, it took my mother a long time. She was struggling to get off of the caffeine. So among the most detrimental effects of caffeine is your body's dependence upon it. The addiction to caffeine has given rise to a new disease called caffeinism. Increased blood levels of caffeine may cause cravings for nicotine. So anyone wishing to quit smoking, you must stop drinking caffeinated beverages. All right. We're going to talk about some ways to overcome, because there's plenty of information here about it, but you know, my time on these videos can't be but so long, so I'm not going to hold you up. But let's talk about 10 ways to overcome, because this is a good way to end. Caffeine is a health and spiritual hazard that most of you may affect your eternal life. One study showed that increasing consumption of caffeine causes a corresponding decrease in religious involvement measured by church attendance. Isn't that amazing? Now let me tell you something. The places of where you worship, I don't consider the building the church, but most people do. Okay, so these people, caffeine is a drug and it's addictive, and people who do it end up having less spirituality. They don't go to church as much. So what does the church do? Instead of trying to help them, having programs to say, you know, we got to be healthy because these bodies are the temple. They say, guess what? To get you to come to church, we're going to give you coffee. Remember last time we talked about sugar? We're going to give you coffee and donuts. So here we're going to give you caffeine and we're going to give you sugar. Come on to church. So everybody flocks to church because they can get their hit of both caffeine and sugar. I can say a lot about that, but I'm not. All right. Let's talk about the 10 things to help you. A dry brush massage. You want a dry brush. You got to get one at a health food store, and you brush always up towards your heart, your whole body. You dry brush your skin. If you feel drowsy, have a dry brush massage before you have a shower. What that does is help break up all that loose dead skin, but always brush toward your heart. It's a stimulant. Okay. And then you want to take a hot and cold shower, a contrast shower. When it hot, straight cold, 2 or 3 minutes. Minute hot, straight cold. That'll help you. That's also stimulating. It'll help your mental attitude. And that cold water sure will. Get outdoors and exercise. You know, I'm able to sit outside now because the weather has changed. I can't do it so much in the day early because it's too hot on this. My porch faces west, so it gets really hot. This time of day or early in the morning, it's really good. All right, watch your diet. Eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, and avoid overeating, because you know we overeat. We go back for seconds and it's as big as the plate was when you started. So you want to watch your diet. You want to have water and herbal tea on hand, but you really got to drink water. You got to flush that system. Let me tell you, I've seen people do steam baths in treatment centers where I've worked, and I've seen the nicotine, we're going to talk about that later, come out of their skin. They were sitting in the steam bath on white towels, and the nicotine was just coming out of their pores, out of their skin. As a large organ. Okay, take hot foot baths. And now, if the symptoms come and you're struggling, here's what I need you to do. If you start having the headaches and the dizziness and the backache, which are symptoms of the withdrawals, all you need to do is take a tablespoon of caffeine beverage, wait 30 minutes, just a tablespoon. Wait 30 minutes. If it's still there, another tablespoon. Okay? And you do that just a little bit, and the symptoms will eventually go away. That's just kind of help ease that pressure that you can't take. Okay, lubricate your body by making sure you drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. It says drink water, of course, the water of life. Take a drink of water of life, which your maker offers you, and you will never thirst. I like this. This is in John 4:14. It says, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up unto everlasting life. All right. Keep yourself busy as well. Keep yourself busy. And don't let too much leisure time come in, because they say, what is that little saying they used to say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. You don't want to be idle. You got to stay busy when you're struggling to get off of this caffeine. Just remember that it's a drug, and it's a addictive drug, just like sugar. So if you're combining eating caffeine and lots of sugar, you got a double addiction. So listen, we're just here to try to help each other learn to get through so that we can have a new life, and we want to have a better life. And these are the kind of things we can do as we take care of this body temple. All right, I hope this information helped you. And until we meet again in the next video, may the grace and peace of God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Shalom.